Everybody, it's Joe here. Um, Starting on the next project, I am going to redo my Sabine Wren helmet. I made this one a few years ago out of foam, and it's okay. Not bad for a foam build. It's big. Um, you can kind of see the foam even when it's just standard sitting there on display. You can also see the seams and the creases. But yeah, it's a pretty fun build. Took a little while to do, but I have 3D printed another version. Obviously, it's a little bit smaller, more in line with what the true size would probably be for her. So do have some work to do. I did print this on the Bambu A1. Don't know if the camera will pick this up. It looks like it is. Obviously, I've got to do some sanding here, the seam down here. Other than that, it's a pretty nice print. It's very smooth. I'll go over it, and then I might end up putting some, some filler in here on the top after I sand a little bit, or even some of that XTC 3D. It's kind of a, it's a solution. What do you call that? I've lost the word. Anyhow, I'll probably put some of that on, depending, and then of course it'll need a little bit more sanding, probably a little bit more filling. But overall, I think the print is pretty good. Yeah, so we'll do that. I'll probably use a little automated sander that I have, and it should be done in just a second. Okay, so we're back from the initial sanding, and I did a little bit of hand sanding. You can see here, got most of that ring out of there. It's really not showing up because it's gone, but there's still some seams. You can still feel, some of the layer lines and stuff, obviously. So the next step that I usually do is I'm going to give it a thin coat of resin. So I do have this epoxy resin, A and B. It's a 1-to-1, pretty simple stuff. And we'll mix that up here and give it a good mix, and then we'll brush it on and then let it sit for a day and see how that goes. So I got my gloves on. Even though it's a low VOC, I'm going to go ahead and put on a mask and just watch the mixing process. obviously mixed too much, so I had a little bowl sitting there, and I'm sure I got some other stuff I can put the rest on. But anyhow, it's looking pretty good. Even just basic, cheap resin. That Ecstasy 3D is kind of expensive, but I found that just regular resin works fine as well. It gets in there. Obviously we'll do some more sanding. I don't want to bore you with watching the sanding, but yeah, we'll do some more sanding, clean that up, and then we'll, do the primer, the filler primer, and a little bit more sanding after that. But I usually, after doing resin, you don't have to do a ton more sanding and filling, sanding and filling, sanding and filling, as you see with a lot of 3D props, especially with helmets. I mean, as long as it doesn't pool, it'll look pretty good. And once you get the paint on and everything, the hardest part of this build isn't going to be the prep, it's going to be this painting. Because I've made another Sabine Wren helmet for my granddaughter. I'll show you a picture of that as well. And it had a different paint scheme than the one I'm going to do for this one. So anyhow, yep, more to come. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'll use up this resin and I'll show you the next steps after this cures tomorrow. Thanks. Okay, it is the next day and the resin is on and it's cured. And yes, it will need some hand sanding. Let's see if we can pick this up on the camera here. Probably not, it's a little shiny, but you can hear it. There's still a little bit of roughness on the top. The sides are pretty smooth. The back is pretty smooth, not too bad. Not too many drips either. There's one here, I'll have to cut that off, but overall it's in pretty good shape. So hand sanding now. I'll start probably with like a 120, work my way up to 400 and stuff, and then I'll be ready for primer. So I'll get that done. Like I said, I won't bore you with those details because everybody's seen sanding on every prop ever made. Okay, so more to come. We'll get back to you on next steps. Okay, now I've had hand sanding and a coat of filler primer, and then I hand sanded again with some 380 grit. Let it cure overnight with the filler primer, and now I've rinsed it off, and it is pretty smooth. Very nice. And since this is just going to be a display piece on a shelf, I am not going to do any further prep. I did the original automated sander. Then I covered it with resin, a thin coat of resin. Did some hand sanding at 380, I think it was maybe 400. Filler primer, and then hand pass using 380. I guess the first pass was before the filler primer. After the resin was like 180, so it's pretty rough. Got it fairly smooth. Did the filler primer and did the 380 with these little sheet of that. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to do any more bottom prep work. It's just going to go up on the shelf where the other one was, and kind of just replace that. And I think it's going to look pretty good. So the next step is a coat of silver. I'm going to coat the whole just with silver spray paint. It's not super great silver. It's not intended to be, but it'll be a great base coat because there's so many scratches and things like that within the orange and red that I can use some masking fluid for that, and then it will come out. Then I can move that off and it'll look pretty good. There's a couple of spaces on here that'll look like the resin kind of dripped a little bit. You can kind of see in here, but I got that pretty smooth. You can't feel them. but I thought that would be a great place for some battle damage anyhow. So like right here is probably a better spot, you can see. Anyhow, I'm going to let this dry a little bit more. I did dry it off, but I don't want to throw paint on it while it's still wet. And it's still wet kind of on the inside. So anyhow, so that's the plan. And we'll be back after we get the silver on. Thanks. Okay, we're back with the silver paint. Just a simple chrome spray paint. A lot of it's going to be covered anyway. I just needed a base coat. So this will stay silver down here towards the bottom. All through here, and this will be all colored yellow and red, and they were silver. So, and this is actually, there's a little bit darker silver, like a gunmetal in here, so I'll get that done as well. So the next step is I'm going to use some of the masking fluid. I've got this little latex micro mask, and put that on, let that dry, tape it up with some paper for all of that big section. And then I will be doing look how big this one is. Then I will be doing the yellow. There's a lot of yellow on here, kind of a yellowish orange. Since it's the lighter color, I'll do that first and then go with the red after that. Yep, so that's the next step. Still have some gunmetal down here as well. The taping for the red will obviously be a little bit more difficult. I did all this one by hand, but I'm going to want to try to do as much as I can with the airbrush, so it'll be a lot more taping. So anyhow, next steps, I'll come back. I'll show you the yellow paint after that's all done. So we'll get to work and we'll be back. Okay, so we have the yellow on, orange on, and some masking. And the next step, I need to tape up for the red. I'm going to show you me starting this anyhow. But I think the yellow came out pretty good. It's obviously shiny because of the silver, and that's cool, I think. It really gives a sense that the helmet is a metal helmet, painted just like she would have painted it on the animated show. So yeah, so I'm going to do some taping here. We'll let you watch a little bit of that. See how I can get these patterns going, and yeah, then I'll mix up some red. I got to put some more masking fluid on because I want to mask underneath the red, but on top of the yellow. That's going to show silver there, and that will come out as well. So there'll be some red that goes all the way to the silver, but I want some red that goes just to the gold orange. Yeah, so we'll try that and give her a go.
dry. Going to come back and tape up the rest, and then I'll paint the red, and we'll go from there. Okay, more to come.
Okay, what are we looking at? We are looking at the red and the yellow, and I have demasked. I've taken off the tape. I did have to mask up for all these patterns. Came out pretty good. Not bad for eyeballing. Not perfectly symmetrical, but you know, they're supposed to be hand painted anyway. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. This is part of the masking. This little square is gone as opposed to that side, compared to that side. I might put that back on, I'm not sure. But yeah, all of it came out really good. That's a big drip. That looks cool, actually. I got some masking under the yellow, not the silver. A couple of those. So next step is I'm going to do some dark gray through here, and need to do some dark gray on the earpieces, and then I have to do some other patterns in dark gray. Let me show you what those look like. Old. So I need to put these guys in. So I thought I'd make a template for that, I think. So I'll do that on paper, and then just flip it and, you know, make two of them, and do it that way instead, because it's a little bit smaller and I don't want to go through all this taping business again. So anyhow, so I'm going to do that, and I'll come back to you when the gray is painted on. Okay, got the accessories, or not the accessories, got the red painted on, tape removed, and the designs on, and the masking removed as well. So it's looking really good. I also painted the dark gray on the sides, did those little patterns on either side. I just made one little a template out of paper, drew it, cut it, and also clear coated it. I fixed that red that was right in here, add a little silver to it. So that's all good. So the next step is to tape the outlines of all these red pieces. The ones on the side, I'm not going to do these, and the middle part does not have it either. So I've got this nice little chrome paint. There's some pieces that are chipped as part of the masking, the liquid mask. So I will put the tape down and then cut it and chip it off as well to make it look like it was just all one piece that came off, like right in here, up through here, the strip, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, over here, that'll look pretty cool, I think, to get the, you know, striping off as well. And then I have the ear pieces ready to go. Got those sides painted. You know, the back piece, and all the other little pieces all painted up. Then I can clear coat it one more time and put everything together, and then put a visor in. So I'll do that and come back when we're ready to go. Okay, we are in the final stages of the helmet build. All the clear coating is done. It's looking really good. All the ear pieces are on, the rear piece is on. I did not go with the tape. I had planned to do some chrome tape, and it was just too shiny. I didn't like it at all. So went with the next best thing for those few outlines, and that is a silver Sharpie and then a satin clear coat. Added this. The viewfinder works perfectly. It sits up there. So the next and final step is the visor. So you've probably seen this before, but what we are going to do is outline the opening, and if you can, as you can see, I've got my next little glue up sitting here on the bench. I'm actually not going to do any painting or anything. This is it for the 3PO, so that'll be easy. But, so what I do is I take a piece of paper and plop it in there. Make sure that it's fitting good. And then I will do a little outline for that. I'm actually thinking it might be easier to do it on the outside. I do a rub of it. Okay, that works. So this is the outer. Little gap right there. So I need to pull that side down a little bit, but that will work. I want to make sure I extend that down and out a little bit. Alrighty. You guys get to see how messy and have this nice workbench, and I have no place to work. Okay. Nice about these little welding masks, you can just cut them with scissors. I got these on Amazon. Like a 4 or 5 pack or something. Definitely the way to buy it is if you buy more than one. I think they're $10 a piece by themselves, but a little bit cheaper if you buy more than one. Okay, let's see how that's now. Nice. That's the stuff right there. Alrighty. And there's a really nice fit in the bottom of the grooves, if you can see that. Yeah, okay. I'm going to finish this bad boy. Oh yeah. Do not even have to trim the bottom. That is perfect. And don't even have to glue it in or tape it in. It's just going to sit in the grooves. Oh man, that looks so sweet. Yeah, that looks perfect. It's too small for my head, so I can't try it on. That wasn't the intent of it anyway. I'm going to probably hot glue just a little piece of foam to have it sit on the stand that I have upstairs for my office, and then we'll do some beauty shots. And yeah, so that is the Sabine Wren yellow and orange, or yellow and red paint scheme. I will have a picture of the other one that I made, the other Sabine, which was the kind of the purple and the gray and silver. That's really a cool one. My granddaughter wanted that with no weathering, so it's like it's brand new right out of the box. She didn't want any scrapes, scratches, you know, flaking of the paint. She just wanted it pristine, and that's what I gave her, and it looks really cool. So I will post some prints of some shots of that as well. And yeah, so that's it. Like I said, I'll have some beauty shots of this one, and that's it. About 20 hours maybe, I would say, with all the sanding, all the prep work, not counting the print. I think the print was close to that, like maybe 17 hours, but just post work, painting and all that kind of stuff. You know, this video has been done over the course of a couple of weeks, doing
work, maybe an hour or two a day. I don't sit there and just do it all. Um, but yeah, so I think it came out pretty fantastic. So anyhow, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for sticking with it. I appreciate it. And yeah, let me know if you have any comments or anything like that. And yeah, have a good rest of your week. Thank you.